What's up, my YouTube family? DJ Derek Smokin Jones. Please like and subscribe. What I'm working on today, or actually, I decided to do the video in the middle of my repair. Actually, is the Technique 1200. It's the Technique 1200 SL 1200 MK2. See, check it out. It's direct drive turntable. It's one of the DJ favorites here. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we love this turntable. This is what we use. This is our instrument, if you will. I have a couple of them, so well, more than a couple that I have to repair, man. So what I'll do is I'll keep, doing lives and stuff, and or recording, my repairs, to kind of catch you up to date. But basically what I've just done, just to kind of show you, right here is the spindle, and inside here, inside this part, this is like a protective covering that sits over the magnets. The magnets in here are what, well, there's actually not, I'm gonna show you. Let me just show you. Hold on. Because we're doing a lot of stuff here. All right, this is your platter. See, this is your platter. And right here is a big magnet. This magnet, let's come back over here, comes in and it hits these coils over here. This is what makes it direct drive without a belt. These coils help to push, that what is it called? Cylindrical force and everything to make your turntable or your platter spin around. So that's what these does. So the magnet comes in contact with these little coils down here and it pushes it once you power on. And so what I did was I removed this motor, just to clean it and lubricate it. This is basic maintenance for your 1200. So what you would do, I've already gotten this part back together. I'm going to actually tighten up the screws. But what you would do is, first of all, let's kind of go in reverse so you guys can kind of get a look. This is a protective plastic shroud, that kind of protects your electronics and stuff, in your Techniques 12. Okay. This sits here. I didn't set it in here totally correct, but it sits in here, and then your platter sits over the top of that. And sometimes in these areas here, right in here, they fill up full of dust and dirt. This one was full of dust, dirt, dog hair, everything you could think of, man. Candy paper. It was a lot of stuff in here. So and you would pop your platter off. And if people don't know how you pop your platter off in your 12 here, let me show you. So let's set this here where it belongs. And as you can see, it's slotted. This slot here. See this slot right here? This sits right in between these two slots. So you'll take out some screws. There'll be some screws. There's screw points right here. This one, unfortunately, didn't come with any screws. When the guy dropped it off to me, they're missing screws. But there would be some screws right here. I believe it's 3 or 4 of them. Actually, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 screws missing. And you would unscrew these screws after you lift the platter, and then you will lift this up, and that'll get you down to the electronics. All right. When the platter's on here, we're going to put the platter back on. Hold on, because I'm working with one hand. That's how the platter sits, okay? I'm going to actually do a video on how to condition these platters to kind of bring them back, too. So, and then what you do, you see these little notches right here? Right here. All you have to do is get your finger in there and the other finger. And now, again, I'm working one hand. And you just kind of push down just a little bit and lift right up, and it'll snap right up. So here, let me do that because I got to get this loose again. There we go. It's off. And then we take this off. Okay. Now, once that's off, now we have exposure to the electronics. So what I wanted to do is I took this motor out. So I took these 3 screws out. Let me get as close here. These 3 screws came out with a Phillips screwdriver. Then this plastic little shroud that protects the coils and everything. You just lift up on it. It kind of snaps in. You see it right inside there. It's got little clips, and you just kind of, you know, push a little to the left, a little to the right as you pulling it up, and it'll snap right out for you. And there are 3 screws. There's one here on the PC board right here. So, you know, you got one here. You got one right here. And you got one over here. And they're held in by these little silver screws that I have sitting like right here. You know, right here. That's that. These little screws here. And then you just lift up. When you want to take this motor out, remember, you got to take this shroud out first. Take 3 screws out. They're very long screws. Here, I'll show you one of the screws. Let's unscrew one. And this is just general maintenance for your 12. You know, you want to do this to keep it clean and keep it lasting a long, long time. I didn't know I had threaded this one that far in, but here's that screw. There are 3 that looks just like this. And they sit down and they go through the protective plastic shroud here down into the motor housing. The motor housing has 3 points to it as well that would line up with these 3 screws. And all you would do at that point would be to just take your finger here, if you can see, and lift this up. And once you lift this up, you can then pull, you know, stick your hand under there and just pull your motor out. The motor actually sits in like a little, I call it like a little pit. It looks like a little pit. And it sits in there, and that's really it. You take it out, and you clean the bottom of the motor. You lubricate it, and you put it back in. That's pretty much all you want to do is clean it, lubricate it with the right lubricant, and put it back in. I use Dioxide. I use Lube 1. There are a lot of electronic lubrications that you can use, but it helps to save the life of the motor, if you will. You know, it helps it to work a little longer, preserve it a little longer. I would say you do this after so many hundreds of thousands of plays that you do on here, and just come in here. It's still a little dust. If you can see down here, it's still a little dust and stuff in here that I'm gonna get before I close it up. And one of the good things to use for that here is what? Let me show you. Hold on. As if you guys didn't already know. You know, are what? Q-tips. What's up, Q-tips? And you spray them with, you know, your cleaner and all of that. And you get down here. See, look at this dog here. Look at this. See that? See that? That's a dog here. And you take these and you wet them down a little bit with your favorite cleaner. I would say any kind of cleaner that works well with electronics, use that. There are some sprays out here that are even made by Windex Corporation and stuff like that you can use that work well with electronics and plastics and metal and stuff like that. But before you do any of this, what do you have to do? Cut the power off. Turn the power off. Do not do this with the power on. Do not do this with the power on, because you will mess it up. My next video, I'll get into, you know, how to set the brake, you know, like when you hit play and sometimes your platter moves forward and then it rocks back or it doesn't stop right on the dime. I'm going to stick with me, subscribe. If you want to learn how to do that, how to set the brake where that platter stops right on the money, then I'll show you how to do that. But you got to like and subscribe for me to show you. And I'll also show you how to set your pitch control here, your slide pitch fader. And then we'll get into some more videos and how to customize these, put in, you know, new custom tops for them, new feet, you know, different things like that. If you're interested in that and how to work your 12s, how to set your tone arms without having to weigh your head shells down with pennies and quarters when you're scratching and doing what you do, how to take the faders out here and clean them, how to modify and put in new RCA connection cables because those cables do wear out over, constant use. Those cables do wear out and they get hums and static in them. And you have to, take them off and replace them. And I'll also show you guys how to modify, that situation for those cables, with the RCA pod that you can just, change out RCA cables. You can get you double-sided RCA cables, plug into your deck, use them when they go out. Just go get you another. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied. I'm tired. Just go get you another set and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Rather than open it up, unsoldering, resoldering, unsoldering, resoldering. This way, do one solder job that, you got that in there. You can plug in your RCAs. When those RCA cables go bad, you can get you some more and plug them in and keep it going, and you don't have to keep worrying about doing soldering jobs and stuff like that, because a lot of this, you're going to have to know how to solder and handle a few things and stuff like that. But anyway, man, I just was doing this and some said, hey, why don't you share this and see if anybody would be interested in it or whatever. But again, yeah, what I did was I cleaned the motor, and what you do right in here and around this spindle is you could take a piece of, again, you can use the cotton swab, and you can get all up in here and kind of wipe that out because it gets gunky, and little bit of lubricant, not a lot there. Or you can use a piece of paper, like a paper towel, wedge in there, put it in between this top part, the top part of the spindle and the base here, and just turn this around and hold the paper in there, and that'll get a lot of the debris out. Lube it real light, matter of fact, I would say put it on your fingers and try and get up in there, where you don't spray your coils, or you do it once you take the motor out is the best way to do it. So once you lift this up and take the motor from underneath, because this motor just sits in there, when you lift this up, just reach your hand in there and pull the motor out. But remember, you have to take out these screws here on your board. So you got to make sure you take these screws out here, and there's 3 of them. And then you can lift this whole thing up, enough to take the, stick your hand underneath all of this. You just raise this up and take your motor out. And that's pretty much it. Then you just do everything in reverse, set the motor back in underneath, set this back down on top, snap your shroud back in, tighten the screws, and drop the platter. So that's it, guys, man. If you're interested in more and want to see how more of this works, again, please like and subscribe. I'm DJ Derek Smokin Jones. I got more stuff coming at you. I got some more open box stuff coming soon. I'm trying not to get caught in the Black Friday Christmas delivery stuff. So, because it gets chaotic. People are losing packages. People are stealing packages. So I'm probably going to start doing more open boxes, pretty much after the holiday. But I will get into some of this repair stuff I'm doing and stuff of that nature with the 12s and the mixers and all of that. And make sure, man, that you guys follow Music Alliance Festival on Facebook and musicalliancefestival.org, because we're going to be raffling off a nice mixer that was made by my boy Steve Aldridge. So you definitely want to get that custom made rotary mixer. We're going to be auctioning it off. You can buy tickets for it. If your ticket is pulled, man, hey, even if you're in town or you come to the music festival, if you're in the house and dance music and footwork and EDM, well, not so much. We're not pushing a whole lot of EDM, but house, true Chicago house music, footwork, drum, bass, Latin disco. We're going to be playing a lot of stuff out there. Come on out to the festival. It'll be in Matson this year, August 1st, Matson, Illinois, at the Matson Community Center, man. Come out and check us out. August 1st, we're going to be holding it down. There's also going to be a 5 or 10K run, I believe, and the finish line is going to be where? At the party. So make sure you guys come out for that. We're going to have a lot of other surprises that I can't give away right now. But, man, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. Win this mixer. The mixer is off the chain. It's a custom made mixer. And if you don't like the paint job or whatever, it can be redone for you. You know, whatever the case, you want your name on it, it can be done. That can be done for you. So make sure that you guys subscribe, and I'll give you further information on how you can win that mixer. If you want to know about that mixer, go back on my YouTube timeline and look for my interview with Rotary Boutiques, Steve Aldrich, and check out that video and you'll find out more about that mixer. All right, man. Thank you guys.